venue. Half-ass. All right, guys, yeah, welcome to January meeting at SaltStrong, to our new venue. This will be our venue going forward. We will not meet in February due to Mardi Gras. So the parade will be going down, so we will skip that meeting and adjourn in March. So be sure to follow the chapter page so you can keep up with updates and stuff like that. So I'm really impressed with the turnout tonight just because of the change up. I have several of you guys' numbers. You want to make sure to add your cell phone number to the sign-in log so we can kind of get a group text going on so we can, if something changes, we can fix get the word out to everybody. I was really worried tonight that we wouldn't have a good, everybody would know what was going on. So hopefully now we can move forward and everybody knows where we're going to be and go from there. So there's several new people here first night. Raise your hand. Welcome. Guys, this meeting is free. It's part of your subscription. Feel free to invite friends, family. Now we have plenty of room, plenty of food and beverage. Have something to drink, get a cold beer. Makes it a lot better. So, the reason we moved, we were kind of on a tight window restraint at the Daphne City Hall. We could only get in there at like 6 o'clock. You guys were showing up at 6 o'clock, so we didn't have time to meet and greet before the meetings, and we were basically ushered out the door because these people were staying after just for us, and when we ran over, it kind of held them from their families. I understand that, I get it. But that's kind of what makes this place a lot better, is it's open till 9 o'clock and they won't be rushing us out. So feel free to stay after the meeting, talk and get to know each other. One thing about our meetings that we really a good part about it is you can really talk to, get to know everybody, find out the guys that live close to you that may want to fish with you, get together and fish. And that's what this community is all about, is connecting people together and fishing. I want to encourage everybody to post your pictures. The more you post, the more entries you get into the giveaways every month. A couple of months ago, I actually won, so that was kind of a good thing. Won a relief band, which was a $400 gift for seasickness. I haven't tried it yet, but it's I get seasick, so that was a blessing. But as many times as you comment, post, it gives you 4 entries into the monthly giveaways. They give away some nice prizes, so I encourage you to do that. As you see the presentation that Brian puts together every month, he does take these photos and compile them into a slideshow so we can see everybody's fish. So that's always good. We have the MBF or KFA, which is the Mobile Bay Kayak Fishing Association. Their tournament schedule. We'll put that on the page as well, the chapter. But that's kicking off February 21st. Next weekend, the 24th and 25th, is the Winter Classic. That's the big invitational trout tournament here in Mobile. Weigh-in is at 4 o'clock at Ralph and Keiko's on the causeway. I encourage y'all to come out. If you're not fishing, to come out and support everybody that is fishing it. I'm pretty sure the weather's going to be horrible. It always has been. That's what we expect. So it's cold, snowing, rain. It happens regardless of what the weather is. Everybody that fishes expects that it's going to be that way, so that's something we embrace. We have a new main sponsor this year, which is Pro Efficiency. They're the boat shop on 225. I would encourage everybody to get boat issues or need something to check with them guys. They're pretty good. Great, always done a great job for me. They work on my boats. They're Yamaha, Mercury, Suzuki, and Tahashi. So I'd encourage y'all to reach out to them if you need anything for your boat. This year, so if you wasn't aware of last year, we run year-long tournaments for largest flounder, largest sheephead, and the most spots on the redfish. So all these tournaments are, and they have to be posted on the page. Most spots on the redfish, you need to take a picture of both sides of it, slot redfish, and on the measuring board so that we know that it's in slot in both sides of the fish. I would ask for honesty and make sure you don't take a picture of this side of the fish and this side of another fish. We are fishermen, and I know they're crossing the line. So, and the largest speckled trout this year. So we'll post all this on our either the tournament page or the information page on the chapter page. So it's flounder, sheephead, slot redfish with the most spots, and the largest trout. So this year, well, last year we ran a year-long tournament for the redfish and the sheephead. So the winner of our redfish most spots goes to Colton Carlisle with a 21.5 inch for 9 spots. So Mark, if you'd like to present the prize for the first place, most spots on redfish, slot redfish, and
My name is Mark Griffin. Remember, I think since it started, and just recently I've been getting into rod building. So I told Rodney this year for the tournament for the most spots, I was going to build a custom rod for the winner. So Colton, I've got a brand new inshore spinning rod here for you. Inshore rod, meaning that. Congratulations.
we want to thank Mark and his wife for the work they do.
That's us.
They do a lot of the finance stuff. Bob did. Mark and his wife are great people that do decals. They do anything fine, and they build substantial rods. He not only builds inshore rods, he builds offshore rods, he builds baitcaster rods, and he don't skimp on quality. He's underpriced for the quality you get, so if you're in the market for a good rod, please reach out to Mark. He's part of our family, and we want to support our family first. So it's Griffin Custom Rods, Facebook, Instagram.com. So he's out there. He's local. Fishes a lot. So y'all support him as much as you can. Largest sheephead is Mark Griffin, 22-inch sheephead. So and you get a SaltStrong too. Oh, awesome. Perfect. Thank you. Guys, like I say, it's very important to post these pictures of the fish. I know you guys catch a lot of fish, and don't be bashful. Please share them with the group. There's a lot of us that fish very often, and there's a lot of us that don't get the opportunity to fish very often. So I know personally, if I wasn't able to fish as often as I do, I appreciate the photos that you guys post, so I can see what you guys are catching. And I do follow you guys very closely because I want to see what you guys are doing. And I know there's several of them that text me and call me from time to time. I'm a very transparent, open person. It's one of my faults because if I'm catching fish, I'll tell you where I'm catching fish. Just because I'm catching fish there and I tell you everything, don't mean you can catch them. Yeah. But it's I don't mind sharing because they're not my fish; they're everybody's fish, and all I can do is try to point you in the right direction to get you to catching fish. So, with that being said, I'll turn it over to Brian. He's got some things to go over.
We are adding a new segment to our chapter meetings where we're going to bring up a piece of tackle and review it at every month. If there's something you're interested in knowing more about, shoot me something on the chapter texting page or straight to me, and I'll be happy to get all the details. I'm going to get this working. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. So I picked a piece of tackle. I'll start that again real quick. So we're going to try to review some kind of tackle or some kind of piece of equipment every month. And just kind of let everybody know about it. There's so much out there in the market. And I just thought it'd be a great idea to expose some of the things that we use. So if there is a piece of equipment or a piece of tackle that you use that you're very successful in, we definitely want to bring it to the meeting and shoot me an IM in the chapter, and I'll do all the research on it, and we'll get it up and let everybody know about it. So I started off this month with a jig head by Evan Flo Outdoors. And for those of you who fish with artificials and catch one fish and your artificial's hanging half off because your keeper doesn't really do a great job, this gentleman has built this and designed this. He used to work for Z-Man. He split off and did his own company. And I don't get kickback from this. But I like this jig head. I know Rodney uses them, I use them. the keeper is phenomenal as long as you put it on right the first time. That's the catch.
You get one shot.
You get one shot at putting it on right. If you put it on wrong, you just got to tear it off and put another one on. But I mean, it really holds the artificials. And so it's got a couple features that I thought was kind of cool. It's got I'm an ex-fly tire from fly fishing, so it's got a net flange where you can put bucktail or feathers or anything that you want to do to customize your jig heads. I don't know a lot of people that do that. It's got this keel at the bottom that really helps it track. On a paddle tail, that's the paddle tail do all the movement, and the head stays pretty straightforward. So I kind of like that, but the hooks, super strong, and of course I had every size from 1/8 up to 2 ounce in a cup, and they're still sitting on my counter at home, unfortunately. So I apologize for that. I was going to pass them around and let you see them, and I'll try to bring them next time. But this company, this guy is doing a lot of really great things. He's about to come out with an articulated, the Texas, what's it, Texas Eye, the one's got the head swivels on the hood. He's coming out with his version of that with this kind of keeper. So if y'all interested, just check them out. It's Ebb and Flow, EBBNFLOW Outdoors. I tag them with any pictures that I post, so I've been really surprised. And the thing I like most about the bigger ones is the 1 ounce and the 2 ounce for fishing around the rigs and stuff. They're just really well built, and those hooks do not bend out. I mean, it really does a great job.
That barb?
No, it's got a barb on it. You just can't see it in the picture, but they have barbs. But anyway, that's kind of our tackle insight for this month. If you have any questions about it, like I said, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to send you the information on it.
One thing about this jig head also is if it says it's quarter ounce, it's quarter ounce after the keeper on here. So the jig head minus the little bit of weight that's on there, so it's not a quarter plus, it's a quarter total. So that kind of keeps things into perspective where if you use another jig, it's not balanced right. So this is balanced as well, but it's also a total 8 ounce, whatever it is. This is a quarter, it's a quarter. This is an 8, it's an 8. Also, they just came out with it's called a floater. So it's just no jig head, and it's got a 90-degree hook on the where you tie to it, and then it's got this keeper in the middle of it. So if it's a 16, it's a 16 because of that additional weight. But like Ryan said, you literally have to tear a jig plastic swim bait off of it. It's not coming off. And for me, 99% of the time I fish SaltStrong plastics. I'm a mulligan guy. I fish mulligan year round. If it's just on a standard jig head, I'll go through 3 packs of mulligans a day. But with this, I can probably go through 2. So just jig head to me personally saves a lot of money for me. But yes, it's a phenomenal one. I fished it for probably 3 months, and I probably caught 300 trout on it. And then I went that period of time without losing a single fish. So I told the owner, I said, dude, it's amazing hook. I haven't lost a fish in 3 months. And then I lost a couple of fish. So now it's still a good hook. I didn't stop using it. I do use it. But I like the floater because when I fish with a tandem rig, I use that floater as my top hook. I use this one on the bottom and then that floater on the top. So in the springtime, I think it's going to give us a lot of opportunities for jerk baits to be able to work the jerk baits and keep it high in the column and not sink that much. Yeah, so, and another thing is right now he's offering 15% off everything. everything. So I think the code this month is flat 15. If he ever gets to the point where he not offering it, let us know, because we have codes that give you 15% off. So, and he's a super guy. I met a guy 2 weeks ago. He was asking about jig heads. I sent him the link. I said, hey, try to look at these. You know, this is what I use. He immediately placed the order, and I said, did you use 15% discount? He said, no. So I texted Dave, the owner, and I said, hey, Victor just put in an order for, you know, a nice substantial order for some jig heads, and he didn't use the discount code. He says, I'll fix it. So then 3 minutes, he's texting back and said, it's fixed. He's got the discount. So super nice guy. He's trying everything he can to make a very special jig head that's above and beyond everybody else. Can't beat the quality of the goods.
Where's he from?
Minnesota, Michigan, somewhere up.
He got saltwater fish?
He does. So he travels down this way a lot. He fishes the eastern coast quite a bit. So he's if you follow his page, he posts redfish, flounder, fluke. I mean, he does a lot of different things. So it's look him up on Facebook. Yeah, look him up on Facebook.
How do they do with like the Z-Mans? Like I use a lot of those Z-Mans, like trout skull and stuff, and those things are super soft. And like even with the Z-Man heads, I have a hard time getting them to stay on the jig head.
I have a croaker sack full of Z-Man baits.
Yeah.
I hate a Z-Man bait because I have my trouble so bad with the hooking.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, I haven't tried a Z-Man because I hate them. But when you're on his website, all his salt plastics are Z-Man. So he, like Brian said, he came from Z-Man.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure he tries it on Z-Man. And I'm pretty sure you would probably have to pre-poke the hole to get it started. But you probably wouldn't have to cook. But I would think it would work great. That's a good point, though. I will experiment with it tomorrow. The only problem I've had with them so far is from time to time I will try to throw a 2.0, which is the small one, and it impregnates it. It kind of forms. Impregnation is probably not the right word. But it swells it up pretty good, so it does look a little funny. I haven't personally caught a fish with a 2.0 on this particular jig head because I'm a mulligan guy, 100%. So Brian's put together a nice little presentation on warmth, structure, and depth, some tactics. In the morning time, prioritize deeper areas and some of the heat incubators listed below. The dark bottoms, which we have dark bottoms on the Causeway, Bow River, Dog River. There's not many really hard bottoms. I fished over Bayou Herrick last weekend, and I'm pretty sure that's a harder bottom than what we fished with. You can feel, didn't really feel the mud like I'm used to over here. More of a hard bottom. You can really feel a definite mud when you hit the bottom. Of course, everybody knows the dark mud holds warmth. Like today, I guess if you was fishing, you would probably fish a deep hole with some mud. Wind protected shorelines. And I would encourage everyone to take advantage of the videos that SaltStrong does put out. talking about different winds, they talk a lot about knots, they talk a lot about reels. They go really in depth with it. Brian shared one with me this week that I personally got a lot out of because I exclusively fish bait caster reels, and I have probably 15 spinning reels, and I very seldom ever put one in the boat because I hate them so bad because I experienced wind knots. So this video that Brian's here, and I think it's fairly new, it's a brand new video. They're discussing wind knots on spinning reels, and I got one major thing out of that video, and it was an eye opener for me because when you cast, you get an air knot. It's not that cast that caused your wind knot. It was the previous cast that caused your wind knot. And the biggest problem I have is I cast, and as soon as I grab the crank, I make the bell close when I crank it. Well, that's the first mistake. You're supposed to manually close your bell before you start reeling. But it's that slack time when you try to reel it that you get that backlash. And Saturday, I had 2 wind knots that took my entire spool, literally the entire spool. First one took half of it. The second one, I just rolled it back up, took it on, and peeled it off and on. But when he's showing that, it's really an eye.
So the problem is when you make your cast and you get slack around the reel and you go to reel it in, have you ever seen that one line that goes around the base of the reel but not on the spool? And what happens is you go ahead and reel over that with other laps around the spool, and then when you go to cast it, that's when the wind knot happens. So what he says is always check your spool at like right as you cast, as it lands, pull your line out taut against the reel before you start reeling it in, because that's when the wind knot gets planted, when that you get that loop around the base of the spool. And it's not in where the line is, it's around the part, the lower part. This is strictly for spinning reels. Strictly for spinning reels. And I've seen that, and if you ever notice when you go to, I have them all the time because I don't throw anything but spinning reels. If you're casting into the wind or something and it won't carry as far as you want it to, and then you get line that relaxes back on the reel and it falls below the spool, and then you reel over it. That is what causes the wind knots. It's not the casting. So I always thought it was casting into the wind, but that's not it at all. It's the one before. So that you need to watch the video. It's a really, really great performance video.
Yeah, he talks about filling the spool up, leaving a gap in it. I'm guilty, and I always thought it was because I overfilled my spools, because I want every inch I can get when I'm throwing. But it does say leave that 1/8 of an inch gap from the edge of the spool to the line. When I re-spooled my reel this week, I made sure that I did leave a gap on it that normally I probably wouldn't, but I did just to try it, because between them 2 things should fix my hatred of spinning fishing. And
You get in the habit of manually flipping your bail every time too. Even if it's automatic. I've got reels that don't have a bail trip, and I've got ones that do. But I just get in the habit of manually flipping my bail every single time.
And that's a habit that it's a muscle habit, that's a muscle memory that you've got to learn that. But I guess if you re-spool enough reels because of that, it'll teach you, hit you where it hurts in the wallet, right? Hit you in your wallet, you're going to do something about it. But yeah, I mean, the videos were great. I was talking to these gentlemen there listening to that afternoon. When I got into this inshore fishing, I was a bass fisherman. I never fished inshore fishing. And I watched all the videos, took all the classes, and I still have a long way to go. But say I have a lot more fish in the freezer and I eat a lot more fish than I ever had in my 60 years of life. So it does make a difference. And that's, you guys, that's kind of why I wanted to start a chapter, is because what it done for me, it can also help anybody and everybody. So
I did a lot out of what about our chapter.
And I think we get a lot more too of getting to know each other, meeting up, like Jim. I talk to Jim quite a bit, and unfortunately, I'm not 100% retired at this time, but Jim retired, Bob retired, so that we get them two together to fish, that's great. Open fishes all the time.
I'm retired. I'm kidding.
He has a very unique situation. We're not going to post how much he fishes because
That's not true.
some of his
though.
coworkers
I
might
haven't
be.
been fishing as much now though.
And two, midday tactics, shift up into the shallows, and that would be considered a flat. So as these fish go through, like tonight, it's going to be extremely cold. They're going to be deep, they're going to be very sluggish and slow. But as the sun comes up, you're going to see all that sun shone flats, find that, and try to stay away from the wind, because the wind actually drops the water temperature. So in my life of bass fishing, you always go to the shore that's got the wind blowing on it, because that's where all the bait is. But with the inshore stuff, the wind blowing actually drops the water temperature. So always be mindful of that. Evenings, most of the time the evenings are very productive. I've had days where, I don't really start getting the fight good until around 2 o'clock. I always look forward to that 2 o'clock bite, because I have fished a lot, not having fished in the boat until 2 o'clock, 2 to 3 is when I catch all my fish. So that midday shift can be pretty good. So
2
don't
o'clock
just
bite.
fish at 10, 11 o'clock and go home.
It's a 2 o'clock bite.
Until quoting all the time, waiting on that 2 o'clock bite. You gotta fish the boat. Another thing I was watching this week, because I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I don't watch regular TV, I watch YouTube videos. And the thing that I've focused on the last few weeks has been Ned rigs. So, and that's something I'm very familiar with bass fishing in cooler weather. But I follow this guy, it's called KDJ, he's a guy in Houma, Louisiana, and he does a lot of, mostly red fishing, but he throws a Ned rig all the time. I'm a jig head, paddle tail kind of guy, so the Ned rig fits into that. I don't fish drop shots, but I've been watching some drop shots done this week. So that's something to think about too, because the last few weeks I've noticed that the trout are, if you're in 8 foot of water, they're sitting in 4 foot of water. They're not on the bottom where you would think they was at, and they're not on the top. And so in order to keep that bait in that strike zone, a drop shot can work really well as like a beer lead or something like that. You can make it stay in that strike zone. The thing about this weekend that shocked me was we was in 8 foot of water, fish were in 4 foot of water. I threw everything I owned at them, and my partner, he was catching them on a with a 2-foot leader with voodoo shrimp. I put voodoo shrimp on it. I didn't have a fork because I hated fork. I'll admit to anybody, I very seldom have one in my boat. And I'm hard-headed because it's been proven to me over and over and over and over. This man right here will catch a trout on a cork in a mud hole. Yeah, right here. You probably learned it from me. And I tried all options. I tried running a DOA, a voodoo, 3-foot, 4-foot, 5-foot, 6-foot, and nothing. And I don't pretend to be a good fisherman, but I can usually catch a fish. I went all day Saturday catching one white trout. It's very, very humbling. But what made me feel better was Colton didn't have one either.
What is it?
Brian, on the other hand, that don't fish for shit, had 2.
You was in the right side of the boat.
What did they weigh?
You was in the right side of the boat.
What did they weigh?
I don't know.
What was the official weight on the scale at the weigh?
I didn't weigh. After what I saw everybody else weighing,
He did take a picture though, because we get so slammed, everybody from us, our little group is, if it's not a picture, it didn't happen. So that's right.
I didn't catch a trout that really was legal, so it's okay. I just happened to catch a redfish, and
So it makes me feel a lot better. Somebody like you don't catch a trout.
you know, I was having a hard day.
And Jeremiah.
Well, technically we had 2 17s in the boat, but they were, we didn't weigh in 2.
Didn't take a picture of it. So it didn't happen. You know, of course, the DOA is always good. Twitch baits, Golden's a master of the beer game as well.
It's also a day to take care.
He loves it. He catches it year round on it. Been fortunate enough to follow him around. What scares me is he weighs, and I'm not a waiter. But did you see where the 1,000-pound, 12-foot great white was an orange beach today? Yeah. So, half of Mobile and Baldwin County was rigged up and headed offshore this morning.
People were going after him?
Yeah. Well, it was just, what they call them, beans. Everybody dropped it, they were running the boat, running orange beans.
You know, for years, the largest tiger shark caught off Nile Road, Buddy Run caught it in the boat. Like 900 and some pounds. Hey, they're used to it.
So, anybody have any questions? Anybody want to talk about some adventures you've had since December, since we didn't meet in December either?
I did.
You finished?
No, but they saw the parade they were having.
Well, that's right.
I think this weekend's gonna be a lot better, than the fish that we've been catching. I mean, we had a warming trend and then not a whole lot of tide movement. I mean, I would encourage everybody, I mean, I think this weekend looks really good. I mean, got good weather. I mean, be careful with the sleet and everything Saturday night. But,
Other than that,
I mean, other than that, I mean, I really think a lot of fish will be in the winter trend and like where they're supposed to be.
yeah, I think too, and I talked myself into this theory this last weekend, was, I mean, we were fishing 70-degree water in January.
So,
I mean, it's almost like the fish are going back offshore to spawn.
So a
They
lot
don't
of
know
the-
what to do.
and a lot of the fish in Foul River, the guys that were fishing in Foul River, they caught a lot of their fish on topwater, actually. And they were on the flats. So, I mean, these fish, when it gets warm like that, when it gets like 60 degrees, 60, 65 plus, they move up on the flat and feed up there. Similar to how they would, of course, in springtime. So, yeah, the third place trout and the Luckwood 5.5 pound trout came off topwater, actually.
So the last last 2 months, we fished the bog, which is about the grubs out of Galway, or way in Galway. First month took 18.5 pounds, one, so that's 5 fish. That's a very, very good stringer of trout. The lumber for that tournament was 7 pounds. That's a really good trout for Alabama.
28-inch long.
Yeah, it was massive. This tournament was 18 pounds again. So, you know, the shocking thing about the first tournament was a lot of guys had 14, 15 pounds, which is a very, very, very good stringer. Didn't even place. So, between 16 and a half to 18 pounds took to be in the money. And I mean, that's, of course, this series of tournaments is way, way, way above my league of fishermen because it's every guy in the Alabama or Mobile and Baldwin County. So these guys fish professionally, they fish every day. I'm just honored to be out there with them, you know, to donate their gas money. So,
You just fund the first.
yeah, so, I mean, you gotta have people like us.
You were saying, for the meeting, that the water and health is pretty heavy right now.
Yeah, so Tuesday, I guess this was probably maybe 3 or 4 days. I noticed, Tuesday it looked great. Wednesday it looked horrible, and this morning or this afternoon, well, I didn't see it this afternoon. This morning it was looking a little bit better, but that also got to take into consideration the tide. So as the tide comes in and goes down, it's going to clear up the money. I know that every day this last week was negative tide, so that's, you know, usually a foot or a foot and a half below normal low, which is very dangerous for our area. Those that know where the sandbars and stumps are.
We had to teach you.
Yeah.
You understand on
Yeah. But the good thing about a negative tide being very low is if you're out there, you learn where we're not to go. So, and that's what I told Brian. You know, I encourage him to get out on those tides just to learn the area. Brian's from Coleman, Alabama. So he's planting Hornsby. But he's, you know, he has a place down here, so he's back and forth. But this is the first year down here fishing, so he's learning a lot, and he's learned a lot of things the hard way as well. So, but it is a very unique place to run around. If you're not familiar with the Causeway, I would encourage you to, you know, go on a high tide, go on a low tide, kind of learn the area as much as you can.
Is anybody else fishing right now with having success in the winter? And if so, what are you fishing with? Anybody?
What's that now?
I said if you're fishing right now during the winter months and you're having some success, what baits are you using?
Those heavy guys, those do pretty good, and everybody knows about stick lures, they do good. You know, I'm a paddle tail guy with it. So, that's not pretty good.
Everybody fishes the slick lure. You know what a slick lure is? Slick lure. So that's a really good bait. A lot of people catching fish on them. Just in the last month, I started going more and more and getting a little bit more confidence in it. I never had that much confidence in it, but if you're in the front of the boat and I'm in the back of the boat, I'm kicking my tail, I'm going to throw it. I think you call it OG, but it's the big, largest one. Big Sporting Good has them. McCoy Outdoors has them.
Bass Pro Shop has them occasionally. You can get them at Bass Pro, they do have some.
It's just hard to get them at the Bass Pro for some reason. They only have a few bags, and then the first person comes in. Yeah, the good thing about McCoy Outdoors is they're $7.25 a bag, so say 75 cent a bag from McCoy, and they have a really good selection. So, and the other place that you may not have heard is Tackle This, which Tackle This.
Are they open yet? I was
Closed
last week, they were closed.
They closed the month of January.
Really?
And they got broke into.
Yeah, they said they got broke into.
Yeah, and that was during the time that they're closing down. So the owner of it, he says he don't do enough business in January to open it up. So he don't. I had called Colton and asked him where was another place to get them. And Sportsman Marine in Barrow, Dabney area, they have a pretty good selection of them. My boys, of course, have a good selection. Fisherman discount has them.
Is it cheaper to get them online?
I don't think so.
Sometimes you can get them, they got sales where you get like 10% off if you buy 10 packs or more.
Yeah, they do a bundle thing and then free shipping.
Yeah.
Pretty good deal.
And there's a lot of the local guides around here are all pro staff, so they fish them a lot. Follow Patrick Robinson, he fishes them a lot. Yeah, you can, Bob has pretty good luck with juniors. I throw them both. I've been throwing on jig heads, and had pretty good success. Had some pretty good days throwing them. But, you know, from time to time I get into this spell where I'm like, okay, I'm just going to throw slicks this time, and then, you know, I get lucky, or sometimes I don't. But that's the only way you're going to gain confidence in something is to throw it. And, you know, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 trips. I would like to be able to say that I kind of throw something new for a little while every time I go out. Me and Brian had a good trip last week. He wanted to catch some redfish, so we went on the causeway and caught 4. Had a 28 and a half. Yeah, 25s, 26s, so that was a real good day for us. Caught a few small trout, nothing to brag about. But that's the only time me and you went, and then fished the fast through there. I did fish the Delta one day, but it was 4-foot waves. That didn't go over too well. So got off there as fast as I could. Had a pretty good time 2 weeks ago, fishing the Delta. I was swimming down every day, so that was a good day. This week I was staying up here parked there in the causeway, so I fished 12, 14 hours a day, so that was good. But the fish were biting really well then, catching good trout, good redfish. But then I went to Navajo Park, fished Dog River. Everybody was filling the boats, so I showed up and nobody was getting a bite, so that's usually the way it goes. Fowl River right now, everybody seems to be catching good fish. I think we're 3 or 4 places in the bog last week, all come out of Fowl River. But it's so crazy right now, like we were talking about. I don't know if they're in a fall pattern, a spring pattern, or summer pattern. They don't even know, I don't think. So I think I'm gonna start chasing flounder. I hadn't messed with flounder in a while. So. So typically me, I fish the Blakely, I fish the Tinsall and the Raft. That's what I call the causeway. And I can tell you, I just about exclusively stay on the Tinsall. So for you guys that don't know, when you leave here, looking on the bay, looked up by the bay, Five Rivers area, you run up to the battery. The battery is the first creek back to the left, the river. That takes you back down to where Blue Hill and Traders and all little places like that. If you go past that, the next